It's putting on my arm! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we've got a new part for the Fiesta. Okay, so we've tried again to get the Fiesta running again with the engine malfunction. Hopefully you guys have seen the previous video, but anyway, so now we're onto the fuel rail and fuel pressure sensor, which comes with the fuel rail. So we'll unpackage this, see what it's all about, and see if we can actually try and find it on the Fiesta and get it swapped over. I think I'll just cut through the instructions. We don't need that anyway. Instructions, who needs them? This is the fuel rail. Yeah, so you've got your fuel rail pressure sensor here. You've got your fuel rail here. So I need to try and find out where this belongs on the car and swap mine over with this, and hopefully that's what the issue is actually causing the engine malfunction. So we swapped the fuel rail out and the fuel rail pressure sensor and tested it out, and that didn't seem to do the trick. So we're still at this Fiesta at the moment. So the fuel rail is, let me just show you. Right down there. So it's that rail there that eventually comes up to the fuel injectors on the top of the engine. At the moment we are trying to figure out what else is wrong with it. So what I think may be not helping is the coolant leak. So there is a coolant leak on this car, and it seems to be right down here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to free this area up and take that off and investigate it, see what the issue actually is. Ah, bang my head. Right, that frees that area up. So as you can see here, by the looks of it, it's the gasket where it joins on. So let's crack on. Oh shit, oh fuck. It's running down my arm. You're gonna just stand there and laugh. Oh, but yeah. Well, that's that job done. Let's put that back on.
Got a bit of coolant on my phone.
Oh no, it's
what the hell?
I've got it all in my armpit. That's the coolant drained anyway. Right, on to the next stage. Okay guys, so by the looks of it, it's actually been doctored up before. You can actually see coolant has previously leaked out and then caused all of this pink residue. Okay guys, so it's the next weekend now. We've managed to get the thermostat housing off and we've managed to get a new one. There is quite a clear difference between the gasket. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some gasket maker into this new one as well, just to make sure it's sealed nicely. Put it on this surface here and then pop it back on, and hopefully this fixes the issue. So let's get straight into it. So what we basically did was we filled it back up with coolant and we tested the car. We still had it on jack stands and you know, revving it to about 3,000 revs. We did discover another leak. We had to put the camera up into the engine bay from underneath and try and find out where it was leaking from, because it was very difficult to actually see where the fuel rail is because it's on the back of the engine. So it turns out it was coming from the fuel rail pressure sensor. So we managed to get a big spanner on it and tighten it up, which solved the issue, so that's good. So we continue bleeding the system to obviously get all the air out of the coolant lines and etc. And tested the car, and I am pleased to say it actually worked. So I've been driving this car for about 2-3 months. I've put a good couple of thousand miles on it since we did the fix, and it's actually fixed it. It's not come back. I've had no error codes at all. Hopefully, touch wood, it does actually continue working. I wanted to fully test the car first before I did actually film this part, but you know, to obviously make sure that it was working. So I think what was happening was the coolant was actually blowing out of the thermostat housing where we replaced that seal. Now, when the engine heated up, it obviously pressurizes the system, and that must have been the weakest point, so it blew out of there. I think the engine must have detected that, and it actually cut the fuel, because I got the error codes of fuel delivery system low and fuel rail pressure sensor intermittent, and it probably did that to protect itself as well from overheating, which is a good thing. The video has been filmed over, you know, many weeks and many months of trying to obviously, you know, get the parts, figure out what the issue is. I think this issue can be a range of things. So I think the engine malfunction is just a generalized sort of error code. So it could be anything from air conditioning to the fuel rail pressure sensor to a blocked intake, anything like that. Could also be a fuel filter. So if you do have a similar issue, just drop a comment down below and I will try and help you. I have done a little bit of research on this, and you know, obviously done a little bit of trial and error as well. So I would check the basic things first, like check your oil, check your coolant, check your intake that it's not blocked. You know, check the easy things first. Get underneath, take the under tray off, and see if anything's leaking. So they're the easy things first. So don't go spending, you know, a fortune trying to change big things when it could be something small. One thing I would probably invest in is a diagnostics machine as well. I used the Snap-on diagnostics machine, but the other one that I used didn't actually see the codes. So it all depends on which diagnostics machine you use. It's been an absolute blast to do this. I've enjoyed every single bit of it. From, you know, the laughs of doing the videos to editing it and things like that. So it's been an absolute blast. So it's got to be worth a like, this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, and catch us on Instagram at GarBroZ UK. And as always, we will catch you in the next one.